Well, how is everybody doing? Wednesday afternoon. We've got a new year going. We're going to keep our fingers crossed. So hindsight is now 2019. How about that? Let's just hindsight 2019. But we're off to a good start. I hope everybody's having a good week. Back in that rut, man. 5 days a week. It's hard to kind of get used to it because we had, some days off over Christmas and New Year's, but it's kind of hard to get back in that 5 day a week. And we got this long stretch, before I just depressed everybody 1 minute into this and we're all depressed now. No, but anyway, I hope everybody's doing good. We've got some great comments. Hello, everybody, right off the bat. But let's start over here. We got some fun stuff to talk about. We're going to talk about some leather. We've got a good project over here, or a leather of the week. It's one I think I've had over here for 2 weeks now. Last week, we kind of went off on a rant, never came back. I didn't do several things. It doesn't matter. Let's have a good time with it. And we've got a couple of names that sound like some folks that are new to leather, and we'll go over those. But that is such great news. It's such a great craft. It really is. And I go on and on about this, but if I can do this, anybody can do this. And it's a craft that we can practice our whole life, and you can step away from it for a decade, come back, nothing has changed. You literally can walk right back in your shop, pick up your tools, and start moving forward. So anybody that's new, first off, I'm glad you're here. I hope this is great, but I hope you're having a good time with this too. So, all right, let's see. SharePoint 2010, hello, right back to you, Sacramento. Hope you're doing all right all the way on that side of our country. Bridget, Arizona, nice. I think I have Phoenix on my phone, just under weather, because I always love to look at your humidity, because best I think I've ever seen on ours is like 35%, and y'all are like 10%. But I bet it's beautiful, and I bet y'all have some great weather. Bridget, thanks for commenting, and James Madrano, always good to hear from you, friend. I just wish that one day we can all meet in person. That would be the coolest thing. If we could all just get together in one big room and visit and eat and bring projects and talk tricks and tips and techniques, and that would be a blast. And we'll get there. Maybe we'll get there. We'll see what 2021 has to offer. I know now I got to start writing that or typing that in, which nowadays isn't really such an issue. My email does it for me, but still, I can see that as being a problem. Also, anybody, New Year's resolutions, we touched on this last week, and I had a list going. I had like 5 solid, let's do this. I can't find my list. I don't. Weirdly enough, one of the topics on my list was to hone my organizational skills. So we're off to a good start there. Lovely. It's just a list of things. I don't even know where the list is. Anyway, okay, so Steve, let's see. BC, Canada. Hey, man, thank you very much for saying so. That makes my day. That absolutely makes my day. It's a great craft, and I'm genuinely excited about it, because we have something to look forward to. As leather crafters, we're very friendly. We always have something to look forward to. But with our craft, it's not something we just sit on a shelf and we pass by and, look at it once in a while. We can make stuff that we can wear and we can use this very minute, and it will last for years and years and years. Like with a belt. You can get a $65 belt at a Western store. I did, speaking from experience here. 6 weeks into wearing that belt, the tongue, it was a softer leather, so the tongue would hang down. It was tapered with a tip on it. It broke. The leather literally broke across the back, stuffed with cardboard. My $65 beautiful belt was stuffed with cardboard, and the face and the backing leather was like half an ounce. I mean, it couldn't be any cheaper. So with us, we make our own belt. It's going to last a decade, and it costs $6. How about that? Well, maybe a little bit more, because if we get a nice buckle, right? But nonetheless, leather, and we can do so much with it. And you know what? We can even make a hammer. I know that's an odd thought, but we can absolutely even make a hammer with leather. And there's so many mundane things that we've seen through the ages, like the old fire buckets. You can make a great bucket out of leather. The old fireman's hats, and not even that far back. But you see some of these fireman's helmets, and they're real high gloss. it's molded leather because the leather doesn't melt like say plastics would. It'll burn, but it takes a lot to get a piece of leather to burn. So I mean, through the ages, and leather is why we are where we are. Yeah, okay. Anyway, I know I'm a little biased about it, but there's so many things you can make out of leather. Things none of us have ever even thought of, right? Anyway, okay, so enough on that rant, but I hope everybody's excited. It sounds like everybody's good, happy to be here, and that makes my day absolutely. Hope everybody's off to a good start. Let's see, Aiden, good afternoon, right back to you, friend. Willina, chilly here in Maine today. I bet it's chilly, and y'all have gotten hammered lately. I love the news. I love the news, and we'll come back around to that here in a little bit. Let's see, Peter, summer in Cape Town. You just have to keep rubbing that in, don't you? I thought we were friends. No, I know it. Well, for us, the days are starting to get longer. Cool, right? So we got that going for us. But on your side of the planet, they're starting to get a little bit shorter. But you know what? Love all the seasons except winter. Yeah, we won't go into that. Let's see. Okay, James. Let's see. Where can we send pictures of our projects to you? We've got an email address on the Weaver site. You can absolutely send it there, and that will get to me. One of my resolutions is to get fully involved with Facebook. And I apologize. I haven't, and I'm missing so much. That's one. If I find my list, that's on it. So we're going to start working with that. I'll have some more information here for you shortly with that. But yeah, I'll get more involved there. Let's see. Okay, Thomas Johnson. I made my first project yesterday. Very cool. Cast iron skillet handle cover out of the box. There is one of those. I never would have thought of that. I've seen them. I've probably used them. Never would have thought of that as a project. Let's see. Okay, stitching came out surprisingly well, as I knew it would, but I still have a long way to go. We all do. But I've learned a lot from such a small piece. Couldn't have said it better. That's exactly right. Exactly right. I'm working on a video right now. I'm still editing, almost done editing. But it's kind of the point. In the intro, I mentioned that, it's kind of more of an intermediate project. It is. But if you attempt it, you're going to be happy with the outcome. Absolutely. But you're going to pick up so many cool little tricks and tips along the way. That's what it's all about. And then our next project, we go into that with the knowledge we gained from that first project and make all new mistakes. Yeah. But no, I'm always surprised that so many people, so many leather crafters are extremely happy with their first project. And that's all of it. That's very cool. Okay, James, thank you. Joined a Facebook group called Leather for Beginners. I'll look into that as well. I got to get back. I got to get into this. Been a little stressed over wanted to accomplish more over the holidays. Did anybody feel that way? I've really marched into the holidays thinking, we're not going to air 2 Fridays in a row. It gives me a chance to catch up. I'm going to get a bunch of videos in queue, and didn't happen. Okay, looking back, we only had 6 days. 2 of those were mostly taken, up by the lives. Love. Yeah. So I kind of, maybe shouldn't have expected so much. But anyway, talked to the boss this morning, and bless her heart, talked me off a ledge. Not really. I don't have a ledge. But anyway, so we've got some good stuff coming up. We'll talk about that. Also, always looking for ideas for leather elements and project videos. And again, right there, Thomas, out of the box, fun, easy project that we can all do. And have a great time with it. So, tips, but right off the bat, bless your heart. Absolutely. Jerry, if you do need some really good, solid help, email us. Again, emails on the website. Email us, and I can toss in some hints. Being prepared. That's the hardest part about teaching a class. Now, if it's in your shop, no problem. The point is, if it's away, if it's an away game, you've got to have everything for everybody. So you got to have 10 bevels, 10 groovers, 10 slickers, 10 marbles. 10 marbles. Wow. So I've got smaller pieces I had cut at a granite countertop place, but it's still 50 pounds, you know? So there's all kinds of little tricks and tips that I would love to help you out for you and for the veterans. That would be a pleasure. So please do. Let's see. Okay. Oh man, they're coming in so fast. Y'all, if I miss your comment or your question, please forgive me. Yeah, I want to answer everyone and say hello to everybody. Let's see. Flashpoint Bravo. Glad you're with us today. Peter, Paul Pendleton. Let's see. Yeah, you're exactly right. Hope everyone had a fantastic and safe new year. Checking in from Hurlong, California. Very nice. Glad you're with us. Glad everybody's with us. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna catch back up over there shortly. Let's jump over here because we got a couple of comments from last week from the comments. Let's see, bellies. Okay, so our leather for this week is bellies, and I keep trying to get to that. If we don't, that's okay. But let's see, Joe Redskin. I've ordered 3 Weaver bellies, and I've had no complaints on the quality. Great pieces of leather. That's excellent. Now, yeah, sales pitch, absolutely. But it's always great to get, kind of what would be the best word? Some confidence behind something I'm talking about, especially when y'all comment in, if I bring up a tool or a technique and somebody chimes in that, yeah, I've tried that, it works well, really makes me feel better. Yeah, kind of takes the heat off. Yeah, so very cool. Let's see, here we go. We've got some comments from last week, actually several here on how I got started in leather. I think it's boring, and again, I don't want to do, a me thing, but maybe it's interesting. Maybe it's interesting. We all have some cool stories about, I kind of fell into it. I kind of fell in both to the broadcasting and the leather, but God works in mysterious ways. Yeah, watch this. Okay. But anyway, all right. Let's see. Lee DeKovnik. Lee, I hope you're with us this week. I upgraded my leather tools and bought a ton of new hardware. Rivet, snap, spots, conchos. 80% from Weaver. Well, thank you for that 80%. Oh man. Okay, I don't have any craft fails this week because you holidays, and all that. I somehow managed to drop my marble slab. Lost about 20% in size. I hate 2020. Missed my toe. Okay, so that's a sweet and sour kind of thing there. I crashed mine, right? I had like a 12 by 24, 3-inch thick. Loved it. Moving my shop, slid out of the moving truck, 50 pieces. Oh, dust. Totally unusable. Broke my heart. Anyway, Weaver, we've got great marble. Yeah. All right. So anyway, okay. Chris Gould, I hope, Chris, that you are doing well. Jim Jenkins, Jerry King, y'all, it's a pleasure that you're here. I hope everybody's back this week. All right, Corey Meyer. Let's see, I started Leathercraft a few months ago. Cool. Absolutely love it. There we go. Score. We got another one. Still building my tools and leather inventory for projects. You know what? It will happen. It takes time. It really does. But before you know it, you'll have more crap than you know what to do with. It is what it is. Just speaking the truth, right? Speaking the truth. Let's see. Okay, so Rick, Happy New Year back to you, Rick. The only good thing about 2020 was taking up leather crafting. You know what? That's a win. It sure is. I got my first tools last Christmas. So 1-year anniversary. Rick, I hope you're making some cool stuff and having a lot of fun with it. Very nice. Clown 214. Okay, I had to mention that one right off the bat, but same thing. I've been doing leather for 3 months. Clown 214, you got to let us know how it's going. You want to hear if you're loving it. And I almost bet you are. Let's see. Okay, Michael S. Okay, quick question. Have you ever re-leathered wrestling bells? Would love to see your craftsmanship on that kind of a project. Okay, no, I never have. But when I copied this over, somewhere along the way, I saw I was in a leather shop, and they had a contract to do the leather wrestling belts. And I mean, these things are like this big with metal plates this big. I mean, the guys, they go on, right? These guys are huge. So they don't look when I put it on, it was almost from the top of my chest to my belt. And these big metal, beautifully molded. Oh, I don't know, man. Now the other side to that is like a weight belt. Something like a weight belt. Why? That's a good project. I can't imagine that's not on our list, but that might be one of those cool projects that just missed me. A weightlifting belt. They're great. Yeah. Anyway, I know I want to say we can decorate this. That's not the point with a weightlifting belt. Well, maybe it is. Depends on how stylish we want to be at the gym. Want to stand out? We can do it. Okay. So let's see. Um, Justin Hawes, lots of snow here in Washington. Oh man, I bet. I've been binging on your vids. That makes me feel good because I binge on other vids. Uh, let's see, you inspired me to learn a new skill. Uh, thank you. And you know what? Thank you for saying so. Right back to you. Justin, I hope you're having a good time with it. As I hope I don't say that too often, but I really do. It's a great craft. Anybody can work leather. We don't have to be creative. We don't have to have a lot of skill. We don't have to have a lot of tools. To me, it's the best hobby going because we can make so many things. I know I keep repeating that, but it's true. Let's see. Okay, got a couple of questions here. I do want to get to these because they come in like through YouTube and through emails. So I've got a couple more questions here, but I'm going to jump back over here. Let's see if I can catch up a little bit. Oh, let's see. Flashpoint Bravo. Paul Pendleton back. Hurlong's a beautiful place. I would love to see it. Been to California once. Kind of flew into LA. Stayed in LA. Had some family there, and then flew out. So I didn't get to see. I mean, I hear it's just gorgeous. At Northern California, up into Oregon, Washington, man, Idaho. Oh, I'd love to see every bit of it. I want to travel this entire planet and meet. We've got friends in literally every country in the world. A leather crafter can go and immediately have a friend. Have somebody to talk to, eat with, right? Visit. Very cool. Brandon Burrows, Arkansas, right back to you, right in the middle of our country, man. I hope you're doing all right. Let's see, Frank J, Michigan. And Justin, there we go. I'm glad you're back. Very cool. Hello back to Washington, man. Austin Brewer, hello back to you. Chris Gould, always a pleasure to have you with us, man. And I hope Elisa's doing well as well. Okay, let's see. Jay Hall, what's the best way to store unused leather? Um, okay, if you want to go all the way out, trash bags. Now, I'm talking veg mainly because that'll light fade and oxidize. So the best way to go is one of those big black trash bags. It's great advice that I don't follow. Do as I say, not as I do kind of thing, right? Typically, my leather doesn't really sit long in my shop. I tend to mow through it pretty quick. But anywhere out of the light, and it needs to be dry. It needs to be a good dry spot. Typically, like up on a top shelf, like if you have just some shelves or racks, up on the top rack is a great place because it's for the most part it's out of light. That's the big problem is light fading. But really light fading is just kind of changing the color. It's not necessarily damaging the leather over a short period of time, like say maybe a year. My only advice there is absolutely use the light faded leather, but maybe pick your project. Like say, try to cut your entire project out of that piece of leather, so when you dye it, everything's going to be consistent. But yeah, trash bag is great. I've got some Weaver leather boxes down here that I'll cut the top off at an angle so I can actually see what's in there. That's probably not a great idea because now the light can hit the end of the leather. But yeah, man, try the trash bags. Those are great. That'll work nicely for you. Let's see. Okay. Lev, greetings from aspiring leather worker from Norway. Lev, it's a pleasure to have you with us. I hope you feel welcome. You're walking into some great people. Okay, let's see. Okay. Okay. Austin Brewer, I just began leatherworking and was wondering how to slick my edges. Austin, we've got some great videos. In fact, in most videos where I use a veg tan, we're going to slick our edges. So yeah, typically you want to bevel or edge. If you think of bevel, it's like a bevel glass. We're taking off that hard top corner, and we can do that both on the top grade and the flesh or the skive side of the leather. So therefore, we're kind of getting a bit of a point there. Now we can wet that, use a slicker. In fact, you can use a canvas. Canvas will slick well, but a nice, like a poly slicker, or we've got a Coca-Cola slicker. Don't hold me to that technically because it's an exotic wood slicker. Used to be Coca-Cola, but I don't know if that's changed. Anyway, but watch any video on slick. I think we've got a, yeah, I think we've got a leather element on our edge work. Yeah, I don't know how many I've done now. 350, 400. So I know we've got one in there. So anyway, look at that and see if that helps you. You'll be doing great edges in no time. Let's see. Oh, Pat, man, thank you very much. Or ma'am, I'm so please forgive me on that. But Pat, thank you very much. That makes my day. Great. That's very cool, y'all. It is a pleasure, everybody. I'm trying to read names. I don't want to mess up a name. Let's see. Martins, Carlos Alberto, here from Sao Paulo. Sao Paulo. A pleasure to have you with us. Oh no, let's see. April Kelsey, damp East Texas piney woods. We're going to talk about that here in a minute too. That's been there. Yep, been there. Oh, Joe Mance made a skiver case because of a leather element. Very cool. I hope you're happy with it. I hope you had a great time with it. I do. I feel like I say that a lot, but that's great. And that just leads us to that next project. Each project we step up a little bit. Man, that's what it's all about. And in no time at all, you're going to be surprised at what you're doing. You'll be surprised at the outcome of your projects. So, oh man. Oh, okay. Sorry. I know I broadcast background, so dead air is sin. Biggest anyway. Spastic Geek, man. Let's see. I'm one of those new ones crashing y'all's party. No crashing. Baby, come on in. The water is fine. Hi from Pittsburgh. Love Pittsburgh. As an amusing side note, I binged most of the live videos, and my one question is, drumroll, what are Chuck's thoughts on pierogies? Love them. Hands down. I mean, come on. You can't go wrong, right? You can't go wrong. Don Lapham, hope you're doing well. Everybody, but Spastic Geek, love the name first off. But dude, man, I know. I got to stop doing that. Okay. Come on in. Have a great time. Everybody will say hello. You're amongst great people. Come on in. Let's see. Okay. Frank J, currently making a holster while listening. Hope it comes out beautiful. Hope it's a perfect fit. Oh, nice. Okay. So I'm going to step back over here. All right. So this week's theme. Actually, I don't have this week's theme. It's empty on my script because we're not doing a theme this week. What we are doing, okay, yeah, that organizational New Year's resolution, it's working for me. Okay. Anyway, if you're new to leather, we've gotten this question quite a lot. What's a belly? Now, in my opinion, a belly, if you're going veg, is a great way to start. Now, I say if you're going veg, because with veg tan, we can stamp, tool, mold, dye, form, top coat, paint. Yeah, there's no end to it. So a belly, let me back up. Okay, so if you're new, a belly is this part of the cow. Okay, it's tanned with the rest of the hide. So it's a quality tannage. It's just stripped off to make what's called a back or a bend. Because a bend or a back, this is what the belt folks can use because it's very little waste. Now, no leather is square panels, but no leather is really square. But if you strip off the belly, you've got a piece with ample length, but you have very, very little waste. So it's great for folks that are doing belts or strapping. So the piece that comes off is called a belly. Now, here's one of our bellies. Okay, there's cheap bellies out there, and they are awful. Right. If you get a belly from Weaver, don't worry about that. But there's some bad ones out there. I've gotten stuck. Anyway, so let's see. This one. All right, so I'm trying to hold all this up. But if you'll notice, there is some great leather on this piece. The cool thing here, all right, first off, quality leather. In fact, we can look at our flesh side. Yeah, look how tight that grain is. That's a quality piece of leather. And you'll notice, kind of all the way to the ends. I've got bellies where from here down is nothing but fuzz. That's a bad piece of leather. Almost nothing you can do with it, but almost right to the edges. So this one is 5-1. Now, if you're new to leather, on your foot stamps, about 99% of the leathers out there are going to have a foot stamp. This is your footage. So that's five square feet. And then you have over here either a 1, a 2, or a 3. So a 1 is a 1/4 foot, 2 half foot, 3 is 3/4 foot. So I've got a 5 1/4 foot piece here. Now, don't hold us on that every piece is going to be this big or larger. They can vary, between maybe 3.5 to maybe 5 feet, give or take. But most of them are going to be ample, usable, good leather. Okay. Now, the reason I like these for beginners, for folks that are new to leather, is because it's very inexpensive. You'll actually be surprised. If you drive a truck, with gas prices the way they are right now, it's about half of a gas tank. Now, all right, so beginners, yeah, belly, great way to go, good leather, inexpensive, and we can get all kinds of projects out of that. Now, for those of us a little more seasoned, with a little more experience, a belly is great because now we can keep a lighter weight or a weight in our shop that we don't commonly use. So, like, say, I don't often use a 3 to 4 ounce. In fact, let me jump over here because we've got these in 3 weights. Let me back up. All right, so this is a veg tan strap belly. That's what we're looking for. Let's see. Okay, so we've got 3 to 4 ounce, which is a 1.1 to maybe 1.6 millimeter. We've got a 5 to 6 ounce, 1.9 to about 2.3 millimeter. And then we've got a 7 to 8 ounce, which is about 2.7 to 3.1 millimeter. Okay, so 3 good weights. We've got a light, a medium. I wouldn't say a 7 to 8 is heavy, but here's the point for those of us with a little more experience. I love keeping a belly in my shop in like a 2 to 3. I don't often use that weight, but now and then I need a small piece, or maybe I'm going to line something, or maybe like the bullet loops. That's a nice lightweight, maybe a little bit too light for those, but still the point stands. I can spend very little money and have these 3 weights in my shop that if I need to go to, I don't have to buy, say, a full, like a single shoulder or double shoulder or side just to get a small amount of in a weight I don't commonly use. So anyway, bellies, great way to go if you're starting out. And in fact, this is on my list of ways to start for about, not at, but about $100. So start there, you'll love it. Now, the big point of cheap, inexpensive leather, because this isn't cheap, it's good quality, it's Weaver. The point with a less expensive, if we're not, all right, what I'm trying to say is if we don't dump a bunch of money into our first piece of leather, we're actually going to make better progress because we're not freaked out about wasting that money. Drop $20 here. I think these are a little bit more. These are kind of dated, so I don't really want to say the price. It's a little bit more than $20, not much. $20, that's gas. That's gas money. So I'm not stressed over the money I spent on the leather. Therefore, I don't want to cut. I don't want to make a mistake. So therefore, I'm hesitant to cut in, or I'm overcautious when I'm cutting into the leather. That defeats everything we're about. That goes against everything we're working towards. So dive into that piece of leather. Put the cost behind you. Dive into that piece of leather and have a ball with it. There we go. Okay, that's enough of my rant. But anyway, so the bellies, great way to go for new and experienced. All right, so let's see. Notes from the boss. Okay. We wish everyone a happy new year from all of us at Weaver Leather Supply. And that's a genuine wish. I hope from literally for me and everybody at Weaver. We hope everybody across this beautiful planet has a great new year. The bar's set pretty low. Right, going into it, the bar's set pretty low. So anyway, all right, so we have small cuts of leather. We have a small cuts leather sale starting tomorrow. So be sure to check out the website for details. Yeah, everything will be on the website there. So, okay, let's go here because it's right at the top of my list and I keep avoiding it because I don't think it's interesting, but we'll see. All right, so we've had a number of folks say, how'd you get started? Well, God's plan. You want to see how this works? When we say, hey, God, we have a plan and God laughs. Yeah, watch this. Okay. Anyway, so went to Sam Houston State, East Texas, Huntsville. Yeah, go Cats. I know the piney woods of East Texas. So I went to school. I don't even want to say this. You'll see where I'm going with this. So I went in as a business major. Yeah, right. Okay. Let's just leave that in. Okay, after my first 2 semesters, somebody got kicked out of college. Yeah, my grades were that bad. Partying, part of it. The bigger part was that was an absolute snooze fest, and I am not the type of person that is going to do well in that kind of environment. We're leather crafters. We got a little creativity to us, right? Little on the more creative side than the admin side. Left brain, right brain, not sure which. Anyway, the point is, anyway, the point is, took a semester off, got back into school. Now, my best friend Matt was in broadcast production. He said, "Why don't you try broadcasting?" Because I'm fishing. I'm fishing here. I don't know what. So anyway, I loved it. A weekend of broadcast, that major, I loved it because it's administrative, but it's creative too. So it's a really good mix between the two. Fit very well with me. At the same time, right? Plans coming together. My girlfriend at the time was a drama major, and they all worked at the Texas Renaissance Fair on the weekends. So naturally, I started working at the Texas Ren Fair on the weekends. That's where I picked up the leather work. You had to make your own costumes, right? Poor college kid. The bigger point here is that, like at the Texas Ren Fair, it's a granddaddy. Now, it in Minnesota, I think they kind of compete. I think the parking lot holds 80,000 cars. I don't hold me to that, but I think so. It's that big. It would take 2 days to walk that. Where I'm going with this is that size fair draws the best vendors. Absolutely. So I saw the best in creativity and leatherwork and design and technique. I became a fan of leatherwork immediately. So I started building my own stuff, right? And got out of school, went to Turner Broadcasting, worked at Turner, I was the airborne anchor at Metro Traffic. I kind of dropped, I wouldn't say I dropped leather, but it kind of, at that point in your life, your mid 20s, you're out, try to build a career. So it kind of gets put aside. So somewhere through there, I was working, I think I was at Turner. Anyway, a friend of mine, there's a company east of Atlanta that sells swords and armor and all kinds of period stuff. Some museum replicas. Most of what you see here is from them. He said, "Man, they're having a real hard time getting leather product in." And he knew I did a little leather work on the side, so um, I believe I forgot part of the story. Anyway, I'll finish. So he said they're having trouble getting leather work in. So I went out there and they gave me like a $1,300 purchase order. Wow. I cussed through that entire order. It was huge. I mean, I had to make like 500 billets. I didn't have any idea of all the, tricks I know now. Man, I was okay. I'm never touching leather again. That's enough of that. So I delivered that order and got another PO for the same size. So I guess I'm in business. Well, did that on the side for a while, and then started the Dorsett house, and then was there for about 13 years. The economy kind of tanked on us in 2008, so I jumped over to our competitor, Rhymes with Candy. Loved it, loved it. Anyway, ran the store in Norcross. Took it from, I think we were like number 28 on the list of 115 stores up to number 2 and kept it there. And we were catching up to number 1 when I left. We were on our way, right? Anyway, jumping back to college, there was a small saddle maker in Huntsville, Texas. I went there and I had like $5, right? So I asked him, would you sell me some of your scrap leather? Bless his heart. I had a little Ford Courier. He almost filled up my bed. Okay, and for him, he literally cleared out an 8 square foot corner of his shop of all kinds. It was all veg. He was a saddle maker. I'm sure there's some suede in there. He filled my truck up. I would be surprised if I don't still have some of that leather somewhere in my shop. Man, he dumped on me. Bless his heart. Look what came of that one gesture. Now he was cleaning out his shop, but at the same time, if I remember, he was happy to help. He was happy to see somebody that was interested. So anyway, so was with Rhymes with Candy for about 6 years and jumped over to Weaver about 6 years ago to start doing the videos. Okay, so there's that broadcast coming in. There's that leather coming in. What a perfect match. Yeah, never saw that one coming and couldn't have planned that in my wildest dreams, right? So anyway, everybody's got a great story. I hope that helps. But a lot of running my own business. We were mostly handmade. I mean, I drill press, but we didn't have sewing, and I didn't have like a die press. And a little wonder, and specifically because it was a handmade, and I typically work more towards the period end. That was my passion. Um, the point here is that by by being forced to make a good product faster by hand is, I think, where I picked up most of my tricks and tips and to work ethic. Boy, I tell you, if you ever work for yourself and leave that and go back to a company, man, you're going to work everybody else into the ground. You will be there first and you will be there last. You just develop this work ethic from working for yourself. So anyway, that's probably where I picked up all the tricks and tips, or most of them. No, I'm not going to say all, because working a retail store and talking to customers, great people, every day, somebody's always bringing in something cool that, a new project or a new technique or something out of the box. You learned all kinds of tricks and tips working there. I mean, teaching the classes. That always helps, doing demos and teaching classes. Love teaching the classes. Those are a blast. Again, it's leather people or people that are interested in leather. I don't know why. We just seem to be very happy, very well adjusted, friendly people. I don't know. Maybe it's in the dye or the glue. I don't know. But anyway, all right. So if I didn't bore everybody to go get up and leave and go get a cup of coffee. But again, there's so many crazy ways people fall into leather. I never saw that coming. And man, so anyway, I hope that's cool. Yeah, we'll get that out of the way. But let's see. All right. Moving on. I'm going to jump back over here because it looks like I just see these flying in. Y'all, I paid it that I can't talk to everybody. But what a blast to see all these comments and questions come in. Y'all, thank you. Y'all drive this thing. Y'all absolutely do. Let's see. Okay, Chris, finished. Let's see, talking about the animal print. We did the reptile print belt. In fact, I'm wearing it. Yeah, I thought it would be a little too much for me. Nope, love it. Love it. And for the fit, nailed it. I literally am on the second hole. So yeah, if you haven't seen that video and you do some belts, there's a great way to measure for a belt where you are going to nail it every time. And I say the second hole because I want somebody to be able to draw in a little bit, but also to draw out a little bit. And not even gaining weight or losing weight, that happens, but more so because it's just going from like summer to winter, our clothing can change and, our waist size can expand just from that. But yeah, look at that. It's a great way to measure belts, takes all the mystery out of it, and you will nail a perfect size every time. But Chris, very cool. I'm glad those are working for you. Aiden, thank you for helping out there. Thank you for helping Austin. Y'all, thank you. I can't get to all of these. Oh man, Lee Dukovnik. Oh man, sheath for a Kiradashi knife. Wow, I'd love to see that. I'd love to see the knife and the sheath. Very cool. Dave Rudy, good to hear from you, man. I hope you're doing all right. Greetings from Canada. Greetings right back to our friendly neighbors to the north. Wow, I've now sold. Oh, cool. I've now sold 27 leather pocket watch lanyards since I started leatherwork last year. Oh man, professional. And as we spoke on that last week. If you sell one key fob, money changes hands, you are a professional leather crafter or leather worker, whatever sounds best. Oh man, Peter. Let's see, 2,200 and sitting in shorts and a t-shirt. Man, you just got to rub that in, don't you? You just got to, while I'm shivering in my shop. No, it's not shivering. It's typical Georgia winter, mid to upper 30s at night, mid to upper 40s during the day, blah, blah. It'll rain some. And here it is. Our worst weather comes in like early March. If we're going to get a real bad ice storm, and that's what we get. We might get a little snow, but what we're bad about getting ice, and I mean it shuts the whole thing down. We get a lot of, we take a lot of grief about how we can drive it, or our lack of ability of driving in the snow. That's because we don't have snow. That's ice. And I always tell my friends that give me crap about that, from up north. Say, yeah, come down and show us how to drive on ice, and I'll pick you up at the body shop, right? Anyway, it's just kind of a ho-hum winter up north. Y'all got all the cool winter sports. We don't. Anyway, all right, so let's see. Okay, Justin Wellman. Let's see. Hi, Chuck. Love the videos. I've just started getting into leather work. I'm struggling with the dyes. Using water-based dyes. Yeah, that's your problem. That it is. No. Okay, so dip dyeing. I dip dye most everything. And if you're not familiar with this, really, I've just got cheap. We can get cheap containers, any of the big spot stores, and I pour my dye in it, and I just run my project through it. It's in almost every video again, where we're working with veg tan. That only works. All right, only works. Malpractice insurance. That only works with the pro dye. Now it will with your basic leather dye. Okay, if you're new, this is a confusing point, and y'all that with some experience, bear with us, because there's your basic leather dye, and it just says leather dye. Then there's the pro dye. It actually says pro dye. Okay, the basic leather dye is an alcohol carrier, but it's a powder-based dye stuff. So therefore, it can be very bad about rubbing off. It's bad about going dark. It's bad about the streaking, and it's bad about making the leather very stiff. I know I'm starting to breathe. Anyway, so it's got a number of problems. So years ago, when I was starting my business, I asked one of the Rhymes with Candy managers, right, in Chattanooga, loved him, Ron, man, mainstay in leather. I said, I'm looking not to cure those problems, but I'm looking to getting more earth tone browns, because the alcohol dyes tend to have a bit of a reddish or a yellowish tint, like with the browns. He said, have you ever tried the pro? No. Man, I have never been back. Okay, so the pro dye is an alcohol carrier, but it's an oil-based dye stuff. So therefore, we don't have that powder issue of that powder not wicking in. Pro dye wicks in nicely, but it's very easy to get that consistent. So I think right there, Justin, if you switch to the pro, you'll never go back. It's the only dye I use, and I love it. I love it. So try that. The walnut, particularly. Okay, also mixed. This is my favorite color. The sleigh bells. We've looked at those. That's a mix of half walnut. I'm sorry, half mahogany and half light brown. Oh man, I hope so. I'll have to look at my jar. All right, nix that till next week, and I'll make sure I have that right. But I think it's mahogany and light brown. To me, that is the prettiest. It's almost like a traditional, rich brown leather color. I mean, to me, it's almost classic. And then you drop in a leather balm on top of that, it just enriches it a little bit more. What a rant. Right. So anyway, see if that helps. See if that helps you. And I think it will. Man, I think you'll be a fan of the pro. Okay, Robert Simmons. Robert, thank you for tossing this out there, because this is a confusing point for me and probably most of us. Okay, so Robert, hi Chuck, just put my first order into Weaver for alphabet stamp set 67720. Funny you say that, Robert. Working on a leather element right now on getting our letter stamps to work. All right, so via U.S. Amazon Export Sales LLC, use conversion to UK Amazon. Surprise at price, only $13.12 USD to cover post and import tax. Robert, I'm glad to hear that. That's always my biggest worry with overseas, because I want everybody to be able to order from Weaver, but we just have no control over import taxes, and then shipping, across the pond, or Australia, or Hawaii, even Canada. It can be very, very expensive. So Robert, I'm very glad to hear that. I'm glad you put that comment in. Bless your heart. Thank you for that one. Oh, Don Lapham, he'll tell you to use Pro Dye. I should have looked, man. I should have looked. I guess you know me, right? Yeah, you're exactly right, Don. And I hope Yeah, I hope that's good advice for you. I hope so. Uh, let's see, Lithiel. Lithiel. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Thank you right back. Thank you right back. You know, again, if nothing else good came out of 2020, but you picked up leatherworking, win. We got to win out of that mess, out of that dumpster fire of a year. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. Okay. Big Iron Fist. I'm glad you're back. It's good to see your name there. Um, oh, Jim Jenkins. I'm doing about 5 of your box cutter sheaths in different colors as a test of color. Very cool. I hope you find out exactly what you're looking for, and I hope all 5 of them are beautiful. Absolutely. Um, let's see. Okay, Austin, what is the benefit of using a marble slab? It's the center of your workshop. It literally a marble slab is like a campfire to a campsite. You're going to do everything on it. So first, we're going to stamp. Now I say everything. Don't cut on it, right? Yeah. All right. So you're going to stamp, tool. You're going to set all your rivets, grommets, eyelets, all your punch tools. Now, what you want to do is your marble slab. Take a square foot of leather and put that on your slab, and then put your cutting board. Our poly cutting board is great. Love it. Mine lasts for years. In fact, I've used these for almost 6 years. I just got 2 new ones in because I need to do an inset shot, right? And mine, yeah, one side's got to make it's got a big dye spill on it. Yeah, shot fail. Yeah. Anyway, so put a piece of leather on your quartz and then put your punch board on top of that. That'll keep it from moving around and it kind of deadens the sound a little bit. Now you've got a surface for all your end punches, round punches, English points, and your round holes. So yeah, the marble, you can form on it because it's not like your wood. It's not going to absorb water. So you can form on your marble. Wet forming. Got a video. What time is it? Man, it's almost 4. I've not even gotten to what I'm supposed to talk about today. I'm glad these aren't structured. Yeah, we know how that goes. Anyway, so yes, your quartz, it's the center of your shop. And we've got a great one. It's 1 square foot. Love them. Okay, another point. I know I forget what. You will use your quartz or your marble slab from here on out. Unless you break it, right? Like several of us have done, you will use that from here on out. Yeah. So my advice there, like if you're trying to start for under $100, give or take, marble slab is one of the things you need to buy because you're going to use it from here on out. It will never, you'll always use your marble slab. You may drop it, but you can replace it. They're not terribly expensive. But again, center of your shop. So, but again, Austin, ask any question you have. And I'm not kidding. You will see 10 leather crafters help. Do their best to try to help you out. So jump in, ask anything, and I'm happy to help. There's a lot of questions I can't answer, and I should. Some are obscure, some anyway. Ask whatever question you need an answer to. Absolutely. Oh man. Oh, vintage Namashinen. Namashinen. Hello from Berlin. Well, hello back. I was fortunate enough to get to visit Munich. And I gotta tell you, the German people are some of the friendliest, most comfortable, warm people I think I've ever met. And the food, don't get me started. And the beer, I drank every beer, and I'm not a big drinker, but I was in Germany. Let's try everything. And I did. I tried every beer and every brat I could get my hands on. I came back a beer snob. You see what you did to me? I came back a beer snob. So anyway, I'm so glad you're with us. That's very cool. It is a pleasure to see all the names and all the places. That's a blast to me. Let's see. Okay, Susan M. Hi over to Thomas. There we go. Let's see. Oh, hello from Belarus. Well, thank you for saying so. I'm glad you're with us. I'm honored that you're with us today. Friends all over the world. And we see that every week. And what a pleasure. What a blast. I would love to see Belarus, the entire region. So, you know what? I can't read your name. Vitaly, Zivitali, if I'm ever in Belarus, we will get together. I will make you that promise. And we'll have something good to drink. We'll eat something and have a good visit. I'm so far behind on the comments, and it's 10 to 4. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. We get to step away from it. When all this mess is over, we're still going to step away from it. Because we all have the job and the bills and the kids and the dogs and the vet visits. And we get a chance to think about nothing else. That is why we're so happy. I think that's why we're happy people, right? Because we get to get in our shop, turn whatever's going on out there, we get to turn it off, turn on some music. God, I know I say that so often. Anyway, it's being in our shop. We're the king, aren't we? Everything in our shop is the way we want it. It's the one place in the world that is ours. That is ours. If it's a mess, I don't care. It's my shop. If it's not, it's my shop, right? That's exactly right. Okay, let's see John Simpson. And we hope you had a wonderful year, a wonderful new year yourself. Thank you for being here, y'all. It's a pleasure. It really is. There's Kenzie. Oh man, okay. I figured out how to make an adjustable cat collar. Finally, your workshop cats should be wearing one. Yeah, we're evidently cat people. We didn't go looking for them. They found us. Now I have 2 of them. Yeah. Let's see. Okay. Here's the thing. You know how you can tell the Earth is not flat because the cats would have knocked everything off of it thus far. Let's see. Nick, UVA. I have an old pair of black leather work gloves and they stink. Man, that's the way work gloves are, aren't they? Yeah. What's the best way to clean and what kind of soap is safest? Man, really, any soap would be fine. I mean, dish soap, I don't know if that's really going to help. I may say an alcohol wipe, just your basic alcohol, because that tends to help with, like, if there's any mold on them. Your alcohol is going to knock that mold out, and not just on the surface. That alcohol will wick in a little bit. So the point there is we're knocking that mold out for good. Yeah, not just, on the surface. I might say an alcohol wipe, but any kind of soap you might try, along your lines of dish soaps, the sink soaps and whatnot. Um, and if you can, maybe oil it. Like neat's foot oil is a good. Um, I've heard of olive oil. There's all kinds of oils you can use. That's kind of the life of the leather that might help them, might bring them back a little bit. Just be careful of over oiling because once again, it's not going anywhere. It's gonna keep coming back on us, right? But a nice uneven wipe, maybe with some alcohol and some oil. See if that helps. You could always deglaze, but I don't know if I'd go that harsh. I don't know if I'd go that harsh just yet. Just yet. But see if that helps. See if that helps. I hope that's good advice. Okay, Austin. Okay, yeah. So how to use an edge beveler correctly. Again, look at some of our videos because an edge bevel, all you're going to do, so it's got like a forked end on it. So you're going to put that forked end right on the edge of your leather. Now, to me, I don't like to start at the end of the leather. I like to start maybe a 1/4 of an inch in or a 1/2 inch and then pull that tool up about 45 and out about 45 and simply push. Now, you can lean into it a little bit, but lean back a little bit. Maybe try this and just push that along that edge. You're going to be surprised. The tool is going to do all the work for you. In 4 inches, you're going to be a pro at using an edger. Absolutely. Let's see. Oh, but you also got a leatherworking kit for Christmas. What a cool start. Very cool. Frank J. Well, I absolutely appreciate you saying so. That's very cool. I'm glad you're back in. Glad you're back in. Hope you're having a great time with it. Let's see. Let's see. Turbo Watch reviews. I will do exactly that. I will see that. I've got a link there. Thank you for sending that. I absolutely will. And I can't imagine I'm going to be anything but happy. That's very cool. Love that. That was one of my favorite things about I'm working in the retail store was people would bring their projects with them all the time. And I think I loved every project. Some were rough. You know what? They're starting. That doesn't matter. Still, there's something about a project that you can absolutely love. At the very least, the design, the conceptual idea. And you know what? somebody's just getting started, and that you're loving it, and you can see it in their eyes. They're having a great time with it. That's very cool. Uh, okay, Artie Davidson. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, the saddler stitch or saddle stitch. I don't know which is official. It's so easy. It's so clean, and it looks just like a machine stitch. In my opinion, it's stronger than a machine stitch, and here's why. All right, so if you're new, yeah, what we're doing is we're taking a piece of thread and we're simply going through the same hole back and forth. Yeah, that's called a saddler stitch. Looks great, especially on a good veg. The a machine does a lock stitch, and we've all seen this. So basically, we have that in every hole. We've got our bobbin thread and we've got our top thread. So we've got that in every hole. That's our tension to bring that knot either up or down. We want that centered. The point is, and we've all seen this, if one side of that breaks, the whole thing unravels, right? Yeah, it happens. It happens. But with a saddler stitch, you can pop every other stitch and the piece is not going to come apart. No kidding. You can try that. Why? But the point, maybe an exaggeration. But the point is, if you, I don't even know if I've ever popped a stitch. I've got projects in this shop that are 30 years old that were hand sewn. They still look just as good as the day I sewed them. Sewn them. Yeah. Anyway, so the point is, to me, it's a stronger stitch, but all told, and I work both machines, the Cub and the 303. I just like to hand stitch. It's very therapeutic, but at the same time, I feel like I have a little more control. The machines are great, love them, but I just feel like I have much more control when I'm hand sewing, and it looks great. Yeah, and it looks great. That's all that matters, right? So anyway, okay. So Artie, thank you for bringing that up. Very good to hear. Uh, okay, Jordan N. Made one knife sheath and working on another as well as one for a hatchet. Useful projects, and we're having a great time making them. Win, win, win. That's what it's about. Let's see. All right, Derek, there you are. Um, now it's good to hear from you. Glad y'all. Thank you very much for chiming in with the great questions and comments. Let's see, Chirper 2010, how do you store your leather? Um, I've got my cutting table is two-tiered. I built a two-tiered table. Um, all right, let me come back around to that thought, or I'll wander off into the woods and may not even come back. I've got a lower shelf on my table, and I keep all of my leather there. Now, that's under the shop lights. Uh, I've got some leather over in my shop. That's the Weaver shop over in my shop, and you could probably see down at the bottom over there. These are the big leather shipping boxes from Weaver. They're, I don't know, 10 by 10 maybe, and I'll cut the end off at an angle, slide those in so I can kind of organize, which is not like me, organize the leather in there. Um, in my Weaver set or shop, I've got everything under the main cutting table. Now, the problem there is the lighting. That's heavy lighting. That's going to light fade. But I tend to move through the leather so fast, it doesn't really get a chance. I try to order from the mothership exactly what I need so I'm not wasting. So I'm not wasting, and the company doesn't say, "Hey, Chuck, why are you using up all this leather to make one video?" Which in reality, I do use a lot of leather to make one video. Yeah, we're not going to go into that. But anyway, the majority of the veg that may sit is kind of over at the other end of my shop, kind of out of the light. But also, a lot of my leather stands because it's a veg. You just drop a trash bag over that, and it'll be fine. It keeps the dust out, keeps the light out, keeps the cat out. You got spider webs, which all shops, it's like, I don't know, a law, that all shops have spider webs in them, and they're not bad. But, if you sit on leather for a while, dust and whatnot. But see if that helps. See if that helps. Let's see. Okay, Chris, Imamura. Imamura. I hope that's right, Chris. Please excuse me if that's not. I started leather crafting last April. I started with wallets to journals and now in wet form knife sheaths. Nice progression. Um, oh, dude, thank you for that. You know what? It's a pleasure. Comments like that absolutely make it worth every minute. These are stressful. And not for any bad reason. It just got to be right. I don't want to give out Any bad advice? And I probably have bad habits in my shop. We talked about this last week, but never got around to them. I probably have bad habits, and I don't want those to leak into the videos. I want them to be very clean, you know, but I want the beginner to be able to start at the front of a video and have it and nail it, you know, with a pattern. Let's look at each and sometimes I'm so long-winded. Wow, we never figured that one out. Right. But I want to try to explain not only why we do this or how to do this, but why we do this, you know, and sometimes I can get a little long-winded on those and but it's a learning process and I hope it works. I hope it works. So thank you very much for that comment. More than you know. Let's see. Okay, so it's 4. We're gonna kind of, you know, in a loose way, start wrapping it up today. I don't want to stop. I still. Okay, let me jump because I promised I would. All right, so Jim B. I want to step up from single shoulders. Good. That's okay. Where do I go? I would say now we could go to a double shoulder because now you've got length. So now you've got belt length, which you're not really going to see on a single shoulder. Double shoulders are great. Now, if you think that's both shoulder blades on a cow, the cut goes across the cow, which a lot of the top end belt makers prefer because of the grain as opposed to lengthwise. In their opinion, you have more stretch when you cut a belt along the hide instead of across the hide. Okay. Now, we have a strap leather, and I'm using a part of it in this upcoming video on the molded cell case. Love it. But it's a good strap leather. It's a good strap leather. The reason I say that is it tools. It's just not, it doesn't tool like the Weaver Select or the Herman Oak. Now, Weaver Select, I think that's my favorite leather of all time. If you want to do some tooling, if you want to stamp and tool, go up to the Weaver Select and you'll find that in a side. But if you're working on just general projects, the strap leather is great. It's a double shoulder. All right, maybe let's just say this, look for a double shoulder. Now you're going to have twice the leather of a single, but now you've got length, and length is our friend. Now, I don't know about everybody, but in my shop, there's kind of a rule. I never cut a hide across the center. I never cut it into 2 pieces for the simple reason, length is our friend. The minute I cut a hide down like that, I'm going to need a strap that's 1 inch longer than what I now have. That's just my opinion. But length is our friend, right? Now, cut lengthwise, absolutely. And actually, that's a plus because now I've got an edge that I can strap from. So, yeah, if I've used a straight edge, bust the side in 2, maybe work towards the belly, maybe strap off down at that point. But if I bust that in 2, now both pieces, both my back, technically, and my belly, I've got a straight edge. So now I can use my strap cutter, the wood strap cutter. And yeah, for anybody that's new, that is one tool that you will use on every project for the rest of your life. That's the cheapest, yet most useful tool I think I have in my shop, the wood strap cutter. That's great. And they last forever. And the blades are cheap, easy to replace, and extremely sharp. So, yeah, look for that one for anybody that's new. Oh, man, Sapphire. There we go. I was looking for your name. Oh, and let's see, 33 Ranch and Saddlery, Central Minnesota. Very nice. Happy to have you here. Glad you're with us today. Let's see. Okay. Oh no, weekly crafter fail for the end. I tried my first stitching project, a cool teacup holster. No, dude, I know exactly what steampunk, baby. Yeah. Oh, those are cool. All kinds. So what it is it's a belt piece. This is for the steampunk folks. So it holds a tea saucer and a teacup, and I believe a spoon. Yeah, I'm with you. No, absolutely. Yeah, and there is not a stitch on there that I did not have to unravel times 2. I'm sorry to hear that. I hope you figured out why. If I knew a little more, I might could be of help to you. But I hope you got that figured out. I hope you got that. You know what? If there's an issue, drop it in a comment. I may not see it today, but we'll be back next week, 3 o'clock. Absolutely. And I'll help. I'll do my best to help. That shouldn't happen. It should be just beautiful. We'll see. It might just be some little fluke. It might just be a fluke. I had somebody at one time that was was having trouble with a chisel. And it took a little time, but I figured out they weren't going into a punch board. They were going right into the quartz, which is not great. It's not critical, right? It's not the end of the world. But the problem was is that by doing that, the taper on the chisel wasn't getting all the way through the leather. It kind of was, but the hole at the bottom was so small they weren't able to sew. Never would have figured that out without talking to them for a little bit. That's I'm sure that's not what you're doing. It's just a good example. But yeah, let me know. I really would love to help on that one. Um, oh, let's see, Bridget Benson. I'm super excited to continue my henna art with leather. I'll send photos soon. Oh, I bet. Out of the box. There we go. So many of us, we have other crafts or jobs. I mean, even in our workplace, where we can bring things into the leather craft or into our craft that maybe nobody else ever thought of. Growing up, my aunt and uncle owned a large print finishing company, so they take the pallets of sheets and they'd fold them into a box or just uh, point of purchase displays. So I kind of got a little experience in the print industry. When I worked at Turner, I started in the mailroom. Yeah, Turner was great. They didn't pay you anything, but they bring you in without experience, which was unheard of in broadcasting. So I worked my way up into the print. The print, I was a print buyer. I bought a lot of the advertising. Yeah, it's kind of a weird job, but it was fun. But anyway, so I kind of got into the print side. The point to all this is I picked up a lot of pre-production print skills, like the light table, and working with overlays and light. Anyway, so I was able to bring that into the craft, kind of bring a little bit of an artistic side into the craft with me. And that's helped immensely. I've got some great tricks out of that I might never have thought of. So we all have those possibilities. Um, let's see, but yo, I didn't finish. Sorry, Bridget. I just wandered off. These things happen. Yeah, we've met. Yeah. My worst fear is okay, so I set I set the timer on my phone. I think at 1, I set it for an hour. Yeah, because I start doing a hard setup at 1 on the camera, the lights, tape. So I set it an hour. And then I set it for like 20 minutes, and then 20 minutes, and then 10 minutes, and then 5, because I'm worried I'm going to walk away. That literally it's a fear of mine that at 2:58, I'm going to think, oh, you know what? And just wander off. That would be bad. That would be bad. So I know I'm looking at my phone. Anyway, so let's see. Okay, let's see. Photo soon dies. Does anyone else here use ideas and element from either art forms with their leather working? Yeah, Bridget. Yeah, I'm sure you're going to get some answers on that one. And since we're kind of late in the day, we're going to kind of wrap it up here in a minute. I'll leave it up for a minute after we go dark. I'll leave it up for a minute because it looks like some additional comments are able to come in. But oh, you're in the right place. I bet folks have all kinds of ideas here. Um, Daughter of the Wild. Hell, sorry I'm late. Forgot what day it was. Hey, I know you. Like we're like that. Oh yeah. Oh, don't give me. Yeah, it's so stressful that I want to make sure 3 o'clock. Let's don't forget Wednesday 3. Let's don't wander off. Right? Okay. So anyway, yeah. No, don't apologize. Come on in at any point. Let's see. Okay, y'all. There's so many great. Okay. Let's see. Dylan Henson. Um, This is a great. I'm not great at sharpening. It's never been a skill. I've never. All right, but anyway, I made a strop from leather with rouge applied to it in order to sharpen my swivel knife. How often should I clean or replace it? I'm afraid of the metal shavings. Yeah, okay. Um, First off, on the strop, yeah, with your swivel, you're sharpening, but at the same time, you're removing some of the proteins. As the knife moves through the leather, much like a ship moving through water, right? Picks up barnacles. You're kind of half cleaning off the proteins and also a little bit of the knife. Um, I would say, we don't want to strop our knife to where it's the sharpness of a kitchen knife. Man, it's hard to say because I've seen so many guys sharpen like it shows and whatnot. And I mean, this last show I went to is like more than a year ago now. There was a guy that would sharpen your swivel knives. It was like $5 or something. It's great. Very entrepreneurial. He had like 5 levels of sandpaper before he went to a wheel. Man, I don't know if I'm that dedicated. I would strop your knife. Man, it's hard to say. It's kind of a case by case basis, but I might say strop. Well, I'm sorry, starting to get a little hoarse here talking. Man, I would just run my hand across that from time to time. That is, or your finger. That's about the best I can offer. As you get more experience, you'll get better at keeping your knife sharp. But at the same time, I might look online. I might look on YouTube because some of the top tier toolers, they're the ones that are going to be able to give you a very clear answer to that. Like Peter Main, he's my hero. Um, and I almost feel stupid for stepping into that question when I really don't have a good solid answer for you. But over time, you'll start to get the feel for that. So all right, so let's see. Yeah, if I end it there, I'm gonna end it on a bad note. Yeah, ask me any question that I have absolutely no knowledge to give you a good answer. Anyway, okay, so Craig Moen. Oh, I see Crafter fail. Part of it, let's laugh at these. Part of it for the new folks, it's going to happen. Even the top tier folks still make mistakes. And you notice I don't consider myself with those. Anyway, all right, let's see. Craft or fail, making a cuirass. Okay, for those of us not familiar, that's the breastplate on a pseudo armor. Nearly done when I realized that I put all the straps and buckles on wrong. Done it. Oh, I've never done that. Yeah. Had to drill out all the rivets and replace them. Way to go, me. Nah, dude, it happens. Nah, Craig, it happens. I've done exactly the same thing. I put them in the wrong place. I put the wrong strap in there. We learn. Yeah, we've got a video. I think I'm removing hardware and drilling out a rivet. It's a breeze. What I tend to do is, like with one of our awls, we've got a good heavy duty awl. I'll flip the project over, put the awl right in the middle of the rivet back. Now I'm talking mainly about double caps, right in the middle, and give it a good tap with your mallet. So you're breaking through that back cap. Now take it over to your drill press or a hand drill, but make sure you put something under it because I've done this. I scrape a project across my drill press deck. Let's don't go into that. That old chestnut. Yeah. Put some leather below it and take about an 1/8 inch drill bit and then slowly drill it from the back. I'm kind of slow because you'll see what'll happen is you'll start to dig in. What you're trying to do is just break that back cap off the post. And when you do it right, it literally falls off. You don't trash the face of the leather trying to get that rivet cap out. It just falls off. Okay, tip. And I do this every time. On the back, when you drill that little cap off, your first tendency is to push that rivet post through. Don't do that. It's very hot and it's very sharp. I've done this so many times, right? I don't even listen to my own advice. But take your awl and push the remaining cap and post out through the front. You'll never see that there was a rivet there to begin with. Snaps are the same way. Line 24 snaps. But I think I might go with like a 3/16 inch there because all you're doing is when we set that post is going to roll down in there. All we're doing is drilling that roll off, and then that cap will fall off the leather. The point here is we're not damaging the leather. Like trying to get wire cutters or needle nose in there to try to pry will destroy the top grain. Drill it from the back, drop in a new rivet. You'll never notice that. So, okay. Oh man. Oh, Steven. All right. One more. A friend asked me if I could fix his Leatherman knife sheath. It always starts with that, doesn't it? Right? I'm not right. It always starts. I'm happy to. Let's see. It had gone all slack, so I dropped it into hot water. It shrank to half the size. So guess who's making him a new one? Yeah, crap. Man, I know. So make him a new one, better one. And he's going to be beautiful and he's going to love you and he's going to wear it for years. So all told, that kind of may come out for the better. It may. I know there's that panic moment that, oh crap, right? Yeah, we've all had those. Boy, they strike fast too, don't they? They strike fast and they strike hard. Okay. Uh Lithiel. All right, what would be a simple yet exciting project that doesn't require, let's see, a large piece of leather, something that challenges my skill but doesn't require many materials? Cuffs, wrist cuffs, because there are 10 million ways you can go with the most simple cuff. I mean, go. We've got a video on making cuffs. You can do the mystery braid. We've got a video on making one that's a filigree cut, which I think is one of the prettiest projects I've ever made. You can go with all kinds of spots, paint, conchos, grommets, eyelets. You can go with snaps, sand browns, lace ties, laced edges, like Mexican basket weave. Yeah, it doesn't take a lot of leather. And I mean, sky is the limit. Take that artistic palette and go to town. And that's just one of 100. I bet if I gave it a minute, I could probably come up with 5 more. But that's a great place to start. But also, they make great gifts. Yeah, bracelets, cuffs, real hip right now. Yeah, so move up to watch bands. Yeah, we got anyway. All right, so then I am starting to get a little hoarse. So we're gonna wrap it up, and I am missing so many of these comments. T stall. Oh man. Oh, I was making a knife sheath, and after it was stitched up, I realized I forgot the welt. Knife sheath up. Yeah, because they don't come apart, do they? Yeah, if we're using contact cement, they don't come apart. When you do that, when you take it apart, this piece takes a little of this takes a little of this, and when they don't go to back, man, I know, done the same thing. We probably all have. So it closed before you had, yeah, okay. Well, I'm sorry to hear about that, T-Stall, but man, good luck with it. I hope maybe the next one comes out a little better. Maybe it was in the plan to begin with because there was something there that wasn't going to work right. And we didn't know that until we finished the project and it's on somebody's belt. I don't know that. But, we can at least look on the bright side, right? At least. Oh, man. Okay. Yeah. We've got some great comments and I don't want to stop. I don't want to stop. But, all right. So we're going to work on, wrapping it up here. Y'all, it is an absolute pleasure to have everybody here and your comments and everybody helping everybody out. And thank you for that because I can't keep up on these or can't keep up with these. But yeah, keep dropping them in because I go through these. I go through every comment every week. And in fact, that's how I start to build next week. It's from the comments and the questions. So please don't hesitate to drop in any question that I absolutely can't answer. Right. Seem to be quite a pro at that. But also, your comments just make my day. When I pull these up and start going through getting ready to do the live, I laugh half the time. I laugh half the time, and the other half I think, I wish I could say hello or thank you or I appreciate it. So, y'all, very good. What a pleasure. I'm absolutely going to look to next week. 2021, we're going to hope for the best. We're going to keep our fingers crossed and hope that it's going to be a good year for all of us. We need one. And it's already off. Yeah, we'll see. It's already off to a good start. We had a good life today. So there we go. We got that going for us. Y'all, from the U.S., everybody here, every friend we've got across the world, it is a pleasure to spend time with you every week. And I absolutely mean that. Y'all have a good evening, a good second half of your week. We got a weekend coming up. It's a good part of Wednesday. We're on the downhill side. Yeah, back to that. I'm not even going to say it. But I hope you have a great second half of your week, a great weekend. Work on some great projects. I'm going to try to do the best to do the same. I'll do my best to do the same because I work on the Weaver, the project videos. And I kind of tend not to break off to work on my own stuff. But I'm going to do that. New Year's resolution, I'm going to start a cool project. I'm going to start a project today. And I hope y'all do that as well. Good luck with your projects, everyone. It is an absolute pleasure. Y'all, thank you so much. God bless. Good luck. And we will see you next week at 3 o'clock on the nose. Bye, y'all.